Amigo, 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 amigo.
Yes, people. Yours truly, DJ Cat the Catalyst here. And once again, we're going to be going live and direct with a very special artist from the legendary band Black Slate. And hopefully, Anthony Pure Silk Brightly will join me right here, live and direct on IG. Big shout out to everybody passing through. Big up yourself, 20. I hope you're good. So all those passing through, I should be joined live and direct from one of the co-founders of the Black Slate band. If you don't know, they did great tunes like this. Amigo is definitely one of them. And of course, the list continues. Yes, King. I see you. I see you. I've sent you a request. Hey. Yes, greetings. Blessings, blessings. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Wow, you look like you're out and about.
Well, it's a special day tomorrow. I've got my film premiere tomorrow.
Wow.
So I'm just at this, I'm at the cinema now.
Nice, nice. I like that. So, you know, for those who don't know you, introduce yourself and let them know a little bit about who you are.
Okay, so my name's Anthony Brightly. I'm one of the original members of the Black Slate band. I'm also the producer and the owner of the label Sir George Records. And now the film company Bright Choice.
Wow, wow. So, you know what, we got to kick it off with, of course, hopefully most people know you from the band, okay? So tell us, how did that journey begin? How did it all start?
Let me get out of this noisy place. Oh dear.
Oh gosh, that's quite
That's better. That's much better.
Much better. So I was just saying about telling the people about your journey. How did the band begin? How did you get involved? How did you start it, etc.?
Well, it started at a very young age. I got in the music business at the age of 8. And at the time was when Jackson 5 was the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And every young musician wanted to be part of some sort of band. If you knew music, then you wanted to be like the equivalent to the Jackson 5 or something like that. So I started at that age. That lasted for about 2 years. And then after that, I joined Desmond, which is the original drummer for Black Slate, and Chris Hansen, who's also the original guitarist for Black Slate. And we all joined up at a club called Phoebe's in 1972. And at that point, they called us Young Ones from Zion because we were just young kids, really.
Yeah.
And for from that age right up until 75, we backed every single Jamaican artist you could think of, from Dennis Brown to Ken Booth, Johnny Clark, Prince Jazzbo, Leroy Smart, Errol Dunkley, and the list just goes on. And
Yeah.
that's what we did. And in 1975, we started to think about, well, no, let me go back. So in 1974, we decided to change the name of our band because I was the youngest one, but the oldest one was 6 years older than me. So
Okay.
when they got to 22, it was like, we can't be called the young ones from Zion anymore. So we
Yeah.
created, and during that time, it was a time when everyone used to talk about being black and proud. So it was important for us to say we were black so people knew who we were.
Yeah.
And in the Caribbean, they used to use slates, slates for as the form of paper, like a blackboard in school.
Yeah.
And because we always wanted to carry a message, at that point we said, right, well, we're going to call ourselves Black Slate. So we're black
Mm.
and we're a group with a message. And that's what the
Yeah.
name actually stands for.
Wow. You know what? That's a
And
very deep and powerful message. People take that in.
that's right. So with that now, in 1975, because by that time I had already taken over my dad's sound system.
Yeah.
So I was a DJ on the weekend, along with being a musician with Black Slate. And, dub plates has always been one of those things that makes a sound system special. And couldn't afford to get Jamaican dub plates. So I made my own.
Wow.
And
Okay.
the record Stickman was basically one of 3 records that I made as dub plates. And because it was about our local people,
Yeah.
without even realizing, I actually made the first British black record about black people.
Yeah.
And it became a hit. And it was interested in Hackney. In London, it had a hit for a different reason. Whereas in Birmingham, Manchester, Bristol, Liverpool, the rest of England, it had a hit for another reason, because them times there was a division, a real division between black and white.
Yeah.
But because in the record we say, look, if you're teeth from white, you're teeth from black, it created a unity of accepting the fact that we are one. We are all just people, and by that time, a lot of us had gone to school with white people. So it's like you had white friends, you really had white friends.
Yeah.
And they were liking our music. So it's either you liked pop music or they liked reggae music, you know what I mean? So there was this merge of cultures going on.
Yeah.
And with that, the record went into Europe, and because it had what we call steppers, but in Europe, that would be classed as 4-to-1, like that beat going on so it was like disco music. So they called us the disco reggae band. And in Europe, like Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, France, we had a hit there with the same Sticksman record, because not so much for the lyrics, but because of the beat. And that's where we had our first bit of success. And with that now, we just continued. We stopped becoming a backing band and started to hit the road as a show band. And we used to do our own music and cover music. So we would do black, like we would play Bob Marley music. We would play, things like Get Up, Stand Up, because we were radical. We were really radical. So we were really doing the heavy music, but at the same time, we would do Love Me Always, because we were sweet boys as well. But all the roots thing, but we were still sweet boys and we still love girls. So we had love songs singing at the same time. And then we started to record, and then we recorded the Migo album,
Mm.
which was half love song and half root songs,
Yeah.
and some in between songs, and and Mind Your Motion was a Moots, Romans was a root song, and that was in like the sound systems like Shaka would play those records,
Yeah.
and then you had sounds like myself, which was Sir George, and we would play things like Freedom Time and Amigo.
Yeah. I
And
hear
then
that.
after the album being out for 2 years, um, we had like a DJ called, what was his name now? We had like the Mafia, Greg Edwards,
Mm.
which were all soul DJs.
Yeah.
Froggy was a soul DJ, and them guys, and this guy called Chris. Them guys had discotheques, like
Okay.
live at the Lyceum and things like that. And they took a shine to Amigo.
Mm.
And a friend of ours, called Shelley Class, she introduced the record to them. And then boom, they started to play it in discotheques. And then Amigo hit the British charts. And that became,
Yeah.
and that was our biggest hit.
Wow.
And after it being a hit in England, it went into Europe and it went into the world. And I think
Wow. And
they
you've never
said that
looked
was
back.
enough for us. We didn't get another hit after that, but we had making constant records, and also on the Sir George label. So we had a very successful lovers rock reggae British
Mm.
career. And with that, we took that music right to the Royal Albert Hall, which we had a
Wow.
sold out concert with. I did it with a DJ called Tony Williams. He used to be on radio, London radio. And
Yeah.
that was the pinnacle of UK British reggae,
Yeah.
and all part of what we were doing. And we're still making music now. And the beautiful thing for us now is that my son, my eldest son, is now the lead vocalist for Black Slate. So
Wow.
we're getting the second bite of the cherry. Here we go
That's
again.
Here we go again. Wow. I feel we need to take it back a little bit. Because you said about, of course, you did like backing for some well-known artists such as Dennis Brown, and then you transitioned to being a band and being able to form on your own. How did you find that from being a backing to being the vocal point?
It was hard because the transition, it
Yeah.
now means that when people watch you, don't forget they're watching you not even knowing your music.
Yeah.
So you had to be a performer. So we performed musically, and musically we entered your soul on stage,
Mm.
and you became part of the oneness, and you loved the music for the literal live feeling of the music, and that's what really kicked off and made it, and it happened.
Yeah. Wow. And
It
so
wasn't
when
easy,
do you
but it
remember that
worked.
time when you went on the stage and that first time that you was on stage and you had that experience? Do you remember that time, or you don't remember?
It's the same feeling every time I go on stage. Every time I go on stage, I'm still nervous until I play the first note, and then you get comfortable. And I always say the day I'm no longer nervous to be on stage is the day when I have to put down my mantle. But up until now, I still get nervous before I go on stage, but I do have a great time.
That's good. Because you also play the keyboard as well as vocals.
Yeah, I'm actually the keyboard. I just do backing vocals. My son is the lead vocalist.
Okay.
I wasn't blessed with the lead vocal.
So, I mean,
even though I can talk so much.
music, and obviously you get PA kind of music and you get live band music, and there's nothing like a live band. And I wanted to know, how disciplined did you have to be to kind of learn the keyboard, obviously practice this and this, just so people get a feel of what you had to do and still do when you're in a band and so forth.
Right. You know, they say to master a craft, you got to do 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually true. If you want to be a master at what you do, you have to put the time in. You have to put those man hours in, playing that same thing over and over and again and enjoying it while you're playing it. And when you do that, you actually realize that's how you master your craft.
Yeah.
You have to put the hours in. And if you're in a band, as a band, you also have to put the hours in together. So you know one from another. You actually create a oneness between you. And that's what really, you know what I mean, anyone who really wants to take up this music business, you have to put the time in. You really do.
Yeah.
And more importantly, enjoy it when you're putting the time in. So as long as you have that love for it and you really do enjoy putting that time in, the rest is history. You will love it for the rest of your life. And you just
I hear that.
and once you get into that point of loving it, then you have to protect it because it becomes your joy. And people do like to steal your joy. So you then have to protect it. People can steal your joy in different ways. You know, as simple as you playing your new record and someone says, I don't like it. That's when somebody steals your joy. So you have to love your music enough so that when somebody says, I don't like that one, you can say, it's okay.
Yeah.
And still feel good. And you can say to them, well, maybe the next time, you know what I mean? I'll still bring my next one to you. Maybe you like that one.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that, I'll still bring my next one to you because I'm not going to stop until I make something that you like.
I hear that.
And that is what that's what it's about. It's loving what you do and having consistency. You know what I mean? You will have, you have a talent and you will lose it if you don't use it.
I hear
And
that.
that's the fact. If you don't use it, you will lose it. So the joy of music, you protect that joy and you keep on doing it and you'll be all right.
For real. I hear that. You know, speaking of joy and music, the UK itself has a really rich history in reggae, lovers rock. And I wanted to know from somebody who's in that space, fully 100, how did that kind of develop the genre of reggae, develop what lovers rock is, develop sound system, that kind of vibe? How did it develop the scene?
It developed in two ways. Listening to music from Jamaica and liking it, but getting to a point where you want your own. And when you like something enough, you then start to make your own out of it. So it might be similar. So it still have it still have that chop and that feel and that groove, but it's your groove and you dance different, you hold it different, you enjoy it different, and then you share that with your friends. Because don't forget, every sound system starts with a group of guys who like what they do or like what they hear or they all dance the same or whatever it is that they do, and then you share that with more people and more people, and that's how Lovers Rock developed, because we like to dance with girls. So you made record, besides our sound system, we'll put on the record and then we'll say, right, start the record again. And for the late starters, that was just for us to go out there and find a girl to dance with, because you had to have the next record to play. So it was about, dancing. I don't know how these young boys manage now, because them days you could go to a dance and your imagination was enough to dance with a lady, and you know what it's like to be close to a woman. Now I don't know what they do. They stand behind them. But them days, you would go to a club every week, stand up at the same place, and hope that the girl you danced with last week is going to come and stand up at the same place. And then you will want to dance with them. You know what I mean? And, literally, and because it was pretty dark in a lot of the clubs, it was just all about the dancing. And then if you had the guts to then ask her a question, what's her name? Or the easiest thing you would have said, would you like a drink?
Mm.
So you go out and buy a drink, and once you buy a drink, you got a conversation going on. And
Yeah.
then you have to wait for it to finish the drink so you can have another dance. So you made sure you dance, you bought her a drink when the soul music was playing. So it was like
Okay.
intermission. So by the time the soul music is finished, the reggae comes back, and then you can ask for a dance.
I get that.
It was literally that technical, you know what I mean? Or when they're playing the steppers or the roots or the dancehall type music, and then
Yeah.
you wait for it to come back around for the dancing music to come. And really, that's what it was like. It really was
Yeah.
like that.
I hear that 100%. And you know, my family, my
So
friends, they always talk about a shebeen and a blues. And I wanted to know what was the significance, especially when you guys were growing up and kind of the abuse and so on that you was being faced. How significant was a shebeen, a blues when you were growing up?
it well, it was ours.
Yeah.
It was ownership. It was
Mm.
a blues dance. You know what I mean? You knew you was gonna put on your best clothes to
Yeah.
go into a house where they might not even see you in your clothes, but for you to leave your house, be dressed,
Mm.
go to that place where you're
Yeah.
gonna hear the music. The doorman is not gonna say you can't come in here tonight. I would
Mm.
go. I can remember going to clubs and they look at me and say, "You can't come in here, mate," and they'll be like, and then you see other people walking and it's like, "Yeah, but we all
Yeah.
here to go. You can't come in."
Yeah.
And then they'll say, "And move from our door as well."
Mm.
And you would have to be moved, or you'd be moved. They'll just gang together and just beat you up and run you from their doorstep.
Yeah.
So we had to have our own.
Yeah.
So it was somewhere that belonged to us. And when I say us, as black people, to
Yeah.
the music that you like to enjoy, and
Mm.
free felt safe. You
Yeah.
actually felt safe in that environment.
Mm.
And yeah, so it was, and culturally, without even realizing, the music that was being played was actually teaching us things. It was,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You listen to, a song like Diverse Doctrine, and you say,
Mm.
what's that? Or, or you listen to Seven Books. When you hear them, oh, Marcus Garvey commenting, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, you're hearing things and people are singing about things that we wasn't taught in school.
Yeah.
So musically, in the 70s, that was our secondary education.
Mm.
And it was joyful that was the schools that you enjoyed
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
musically it was good, lyrically content it was good, and it was a meeting place.
Yeah.
So it was your meeting place. And you know what I
Mm.
mean, whether it was a Friday club, Monday club, after school youth club, or a blues dance or a nightclub, it was a meeting place where music was played, there was a harmony there, and there was a discussion that was
Yeah.
good for you.
Hear that.
So yeah, no, definitely it was definitely something that they I suppose because it made us so powerful, it created a oneness for us all. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And I think the powers that be, when they recognize that, hold on a minute, these people are they're grouping up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mm.
They're all on the same level. They're all talking about the same thing. I think
Yeah.
they had to do something to make us feel that that it wasn't cool. So
Mm.
as things have changed now, as we can see how things have changed now, we have to be very careful with our culture because they erode it. It's being erased. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting to hear you talk about a blues dance on a shebeen. You know what I mean? We have to explain what it is. It's a house
Yeah.
party that you paid to go in and you bought your drinks because we never
Yeah.
had clubs. And then
Mm.
when we had clubs, it sort of faded out. But clubs used to finish early. The blues dance finished daylight. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it was a real beautiful thing to experience. And, you know, them days, you would go to the blues dance early so that you could listen to all the music because they didn't play records twice. So you
Yeah.
would hear, if you want, if there's certain music that would only be played early, and there's certain music that would only be played late, and that DJ would take you on a journey all the way through that you would
Yeah.
always say, I'm going, but you don't want to miss the next record. So the
Yeah.
DJ would literally have to play the wrong record or change the genre of music for you to say, right, I'm going now, before them catch you again.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, the music thing, you know, when they say the piper people can carry the people away, it's true. The music has the power to lead you and take you.
Mm.
So
For real.
yeah, and we do that, and when you experience that same music live, then it takes you to another level, and that's
Yeah.
what a lot of our people are not experiencing now. Real live reggae music. A lot of groups go on stage now, play along with backing tracks, so you
Yeah.
don't actually get a real live element of the music, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or a lot of bands can't afford to do live music because it's so expensive. So
Yeah.
we do have a job ahead of us, and
Mm.
it's important that we can bring our reggae music live again so that people
Yeah.
can really enjoy it once again.
100%. Because there's nothing like it. There is nothing like it.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
And you mentioned earlier about having your own record distribution, record, however you want to call it. And I wanted to know a bit more about that. How did it come about? Why did you do
Well,
it? That kind of.
right. So one thing we understood is that looking for a record deal was very hard.
Mm.
You know, what I mean? You didn't get one, and so the whole idea to do after that was then, well, if you're not going to release a record for me, I might as well release my own record.
Yeah.
So you would have to hire studios, and everything was very expensive. So with that, we were quite enterprising. So between us, we started our own label. Then Chris started the music house, cutting dub plates, then doing mastering, and then started with the whole processing, and now pressing our own record.
Yeah.
So we always made sure that whatever we had to do or needed to do, we could do it. So we've got 2 recording studios. So, you know what I mean, we're able to record our albums. We're able to do everything.
Yeah.
And it was a natural progression back in the day. So all the big bands would have their own recording studios, because other than that, you would lose most of your money by going to recording studios and having, you know, recording studios just takes a lot of money out of you.
Yeah.
And them days, because we never own any, we would be paying twice as much to use them.
Okay. So it was more a
And
practical thing as well as a beneficial thing.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know what I mean? It's an investment that is well worth it,
Yeah.
because you then create your own sound, and then people come to you to get the same sound.
Yeah.
So when there was Channel 1 in Jamaica, everyone knew the Channel 1 sound. King Tubby's sound, Lee Scratch, Lee Scratch. He had his sound. You know,
Yeah.
here in England, we were have his sound. Black Slate have their sound. You know, I mean, Aswad had their sound. You create sound, and then people like that sound, and that's why they'll always go to say, right, let's. I like that sound. I want that sound. Or somebody say, oh, Andy, produce a record for me because I like your sound. Or a singer would say, can you make a record for me because they like your sound. And
Yeah.
it is still like that now. You got producers now who have their sound, and
Yeah.
um, and people like it, and people listen to it.
Mm.
So music is one of those. Again, music is a culture
Yeah.
that captures people, and once you get ingrown in that, you then live it. You know what I mean? You live it. You know, whatever music you're into, you get into that culture musically, and the
Yeah.
culture is large. It's huge.
For real.
It's huge.
And you know, just from an observational perspective, it looks like there was more unity and more of a community back then. What about now? In
Well,
musically or community?
all right. So what it is now, we've been taught to become independent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, women, you don't need men anymore because you can do it all yourself.
Yeah.
So it started from the home. So
Mm.
independent women, independent men, and independent sounds, independent this, independent that. And realizing that all the big companies and all the big people, they still created unity in their culture.
Yeah.
But because it was all new to us,
Mm.
it's like, yeah, everyone worked out, oh, well, let's see what it's like to be independent. Let's see if we can do it on our own. Let's have our own company. And what's happened, half of us were made bankrupt. Half of us realized it wasn't that easy to be independent.
Yeah.
And the same people were telling you to become independent, buy your own house. Then you have a recession. They never told us that there would be a recession every 7 years. Those were the same people who took your house back from you.
Yeah.
And then you went back. It's like snakes and ladders. You get to 99 and you're gone right back to number 2.
Yeah.
And over the last, I would say 30, 40 years, our culture, our people has been playing snakes and ladders, being independent. And it's half of us has not survived.
Yeah.
And then by the time they realize they're not surviving, they've lost everything. They can't even get a job again because the career that they've got, they don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
So straight away, you know, I mean, you can't go back to college to relearn because they want young people. You know what I mean? So they've a really cute job was done. That really, you know, I would say, you know what I mean, we're, you know what I mean, I might be part of the new elders. You know what I mean? So we're only, the British-born people are only just 65, 66. There's not much people older than 66 who were born here. As a lump sum of when all them people came in between 1955 and 65. So there was a large community of us. And then after that, things changed. We started to have children.
Yeah.
And then we having children was new because it wasn't like how our parents had children. It was new. And then now our children are having children, and it's still new again now. So we don't have 7 generations of black British. You know, like America has it, 7 generations of black. But we're only on 3 generations at the moment, maybe 4. So we still got a far way to go as a black culture to find out, you know what I mean? You know, we don't have our own bank yet. We've got a far way to go. We don't have our own nothing yet. That establish, you know what I mean? If we got black doctors, we got black lawyers, but we don't have black bars, or we don't have black association of doctors who know about black bodies and how black bodies operate and what black people need. We're still working it out. We don't have enough knowledge of our black people and how black bodies work. So when they say, oh, you've got this kind of disease or whatever the case is, it's still from just a general body perspective as opposed to how black people deal with things and how white people deal with things. So we still got a lot of work to do to just maintain culture, black culture. And it might sound very blackish, but it's the reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go, you feel a pain. Yeah, well, that's only black people feel that pain. So, but you're talking to a white doctor. He doesn't understand. He
Yeah.
hasn't got no history of that. And they never taught it. When he went to university to become a doctor, they never had that knowledge either.
Yeah.
So we're still working on it. We're still working on it.
I hope it can change. 100% hope it can change.
Look, you're talking to me. We're two different generations.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you something. I'm talking about something that you're getting to understand. Because you're not going to, I don't want you to have to experience what I've experienced. So let me save you from experiencing that. So instead of walking by my side, walk on my shoulders and see more and tell me what you can see. And then
100%.
I can carry on walking while you're seeing more.
Yeah.
So use my foundation, step on my foundation, and build a higher building so we can do more and see more and be more.
For real. 100%.
Yeah. So that's why
You know.
I will always do interviews, because I need to talk. And if it's a younger person wanted to know what it's all about, I'd gladly tell you. I enjoy talking about it because, let me share. So you can say, yeah, I thought Anthony Bradley. And he said, this is why, this is how it was, blah, blah, blah. And you share it with somebody else. And I said, I never know that. Two people didn't know.
That's it. 100%. 100% agree. And I wanted to know about your premiere. I mean, you just come out of the cinema. Tell us about that.
So tomorrow we have the DJam Reloaded movie premiere. It's my second movie, and basically there's not enough movies about our culture, so I decided to say I'm going to start making movies about our culture.
Okay.
So the first one was about the Sticks-Man record, what I made, and it's the story. And this one now is about a DJ who wants to be a producer, and he wants to go to a festival in Antigua where all the London DJ goes. And but there's a storyline of life in the process. His girl's pregnant now, and yeah, it's a movie.
Okay.
It's a movie.
Okay. Yeah, well, that.
So I'm looking at it.
How can we check this out? How can we, eventually buy it? How can that happen?
Well, I want people to experience watching black movies in the cinema. So I'll be sharing it all over England. Okay. So the premiere is tomorrow, and we'll be doing different showings at different cinemas around London. Because I think we need to encourage our young actors to know that there is a way that they can get on the big screen. We have more than 2 black actors, you know? Yeah. So I think it's important that they realize there's more. It's not only the BBC that will make a movie with you. There are more independent movie makers out here. And I'm one of those executives who are working with young cameramen, writers, screenwriters, production teams. And this is what I'm saying. I'm creating foundations so that people can work on my shoulders.
Yeah, I hear that 100%. Oh, we just got a question from a listener asking, what do you think about the new Bob Marley film? Good idea. Like it, don't like it?
I haven't seen it, but just the fact that we've got another reggae movie, it doesn't matter how it is. It's a blessing. Yeah.
That's it. And of course,
and this is what I'm saying. It's one movie. This one is 2 movies. You know, if you know the amount of movies that are released every week, so how many of them are black, or how many of them even have reggae music in it? So to just, you know what I mean? All I'm saying now to people is that Bob Marley, he did a great job. He's been dead for a while, and they're still playing his music, but there's some living reggae musicians who play his music and play their own music. And and there's now people making more reggae movie films. Like my next movie is the Lovers Rock movie. It's going to be
Yeah.
out as well, and people we're going to have our queens and our kings of Lovers Rock in the movie. You understand me?
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
about dead people. It's about the living people. So Carol Thompson is in it. Janet Kay confirms that she will be in it. Sandra Reid, one of the original queens of Lovers Rock, is in it. Sylvia Teller's in it. And we have some young princesses of reggae music in it. So you can have the young singers and we can have the big, mature singers in it. It's a musical. And
Yeah.
it's British.
Yeah. I hear that.
So
100%. Looking forward to
this
that
is
one.
where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get people used to coming out, watching us on the big screen. You might have a child who wants to be an actor. Take him to see it, and then or her to see it, and they can believe that they can be on the big screen. They're talking Black British English language, not American. So they don't have to think they have to go to America and talk like they're American to be in a movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
I hear that.
we are an industry within ourselves. We talk different from the Americans.
Yeah.
We have a different conversation. So let's have movie with our language. And that's what this is
100%.
all about.
Yeah, man, 100%. You know, you sent me a long list, a long category of different tunes. And I wanted to know about that basically. Where did all these amazing tunes come from? How did it all happen? And is it an album? Those sort of things. Let them know.
Well, what it is, we've been recording now for the last, 40 odd years. And we own our own music. So we have a catalog of albums. And we're still recording now. And a lot of our records is about truth and rights and reality and some love songs, because we've always fallen in and out of love. So, you know what I mean? Tell me what you see when you look in my eyes. It's a love song. Can you feel my love? It's a love song. Daylight is a love song. But you then have things like, peaceful demonstration is what we want. And when you look at peaceful demonstration, it's like we want to be able to express and say what we want to say peacefully. Don't say every time we meet up we have a riot, because it's not true. We're not going to be rioting.
Yeah.
So peaceful demonstration is what we want. Amun. Fear no evenings, watch who you're walking with, know who you walk with, who you talk with. The devil's cup is not full yet, so he's still looking for us. The devil's wicked out there, so they're still trying to see for our children. So we have to be careful. Predator, we talk about how they take our things and still taking our things and telling us to bite back from them because they believe that we can't look after our own things. So we have a range of songs that some are very deep, like brutality, the things that happen, the reality of things that happen. We have one, Going Home, Black Woman, it's time, so it's a wide range of songs that represent who we are, and it's a message. It's a message. It's a message to say, look, come on, be careful. We have a lot to do, and we still have a lot more to do.
100%.
And the beautiful thing about it, we're still living. We're not dead. We are a living set of people, but they keep on only want to make movies about our dead people. Them. Look how long Bob Marley dead, and it's only now they want to make the second movie. And I'm really glad they've done it. But look at all of our young, great actors, musicians who's done things. Make movies about them. Make it current. Make it current. Make somebody see somebody now and say, I want to be like him now.
I hear that.
Look at Usher. Great artist. Now, make a movie about him now. Don't wait for him to dead.
True.
And this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
Look, Look, come on. Look, Heartless Crew is in our movie. Them man is no, they're traveling up and down England DJing. They're in the movie.
Yeah.
It's now. Super D's in the movie. He's current. Pioneer's in the movie. Current. Studio Express is in the movie. It's current.
Mm.
So when you can relate to what's going on,
Yeah.
current.
So
So
we have
you-
a listener called
Go on.
Ludwig David. He wants to
Ludwig
ask you a question. He wants to ask you a question live, so I can bring him on
Okay.
and see what he's asking, and then
All right, bring him on.
okay. So I've accepted his request. So come through if you're still there. Yes, blessings.
Hello there.
Hello. You
Hello,
can answer the question.
hello, DJ Cat.
Blessings.
Hello, Mr. Brightly. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, sir.
You know what I was asking? I was looking at you, Mr. Brightly. I was just thinking I was saying, how old are you? I'm just asking how old you are.
I am 63 years old.
How you look so young? I was just watching, I was just looking at this thriller. I'm thinking, you look so young. How are you 63? You look so young, Mr. Brightly.
Well, I think it's because I live in the Caribbean, one. So the food that I eat, the water that I drink, and I don't let nothing worry me. And the music
Lovely.
I play.
I'm glad you mentioned worry because I think you might get some worries later on. Right?
Oh gosh.
And I hope you're getting your rest too. I hope you're sleeping.
You know, DJ Cat, Ludwig David is my school friend. He's one of my oldest friends.
Okay.
We went to school together, so I've known him since I've been 11. So that makes a long time. And he's
Big Sir George.
part of my Sir George sound system. He's one of the guys in the, you know what I mean? So big up yourself, Ludwig, every time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see you at the film premiere tomorrow, ain't I?
Well, I'm not going to see you tonight, am I, T?
So I'm still outside the Genesis Cinema, waiting for them to put the DJ sign up properly on their display.
I thought it was in the motor. I see something behind you like you're driving.
No. I'm
Can I say
stationary.
something? I'm DJ Cat. When I say something, I listen to Mr. Brightly's show every week, right? He does a show on Mixcloud, yeah? And his message that he gives a lovely message to people. He does give a positive message out for people to listen to. That's one thing. I know I'm his friend, and I do have a gut him at times, but he needs his dues too.
Yeah.
He does give some good messages out. So if people listen to the message that he give out, he's trying to give a positive message for people, for youngsters to sort of grow from. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is trying that. He's really, I must tell you that because he sometimes, as much as he's not humble, sometimes he's too humble. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it's true
All
though.
right.
We have to give him the flowers while he's here and the respect that he's due. 100%.
Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
And can I say something, T? Can I say something? What he said that I'm going to address quickly, right?
Yeah.
Bob Marley and them man, it's never going to be dead, T. You know, you can't say that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, understand it in the context I'm saying it. So his music is still alive, and I love that about him. And you know, I play music all the time. But
I
my
know that.
concern is why are they not? You know, I mean, they're making fewer and fewer films about our great musicians, our great artists.
The ones living.
The living is important because if you have somebody who's doing something very well and they're living, it's easier for somebody to relate to them as opposed to dealing with trying to live in somebody's past. So you might be inspired by somebody's foundation and their past, but you can be even more inspired by somebody who's living and doing something current. So you can look in the phone book, you can look on the internet and say, I'm going to follow that movement. And that's why I talk about the living.
Yeah, I hear that. It makes it makes a lot of sense to me. I think, it does. I mean, your inspiration is out there, but you're.
I'm having
The
a go.
inspiration's out
You know
there.
what I mean? When they did
No, I know you ain't
the
having a
Harder
go.
Day Come with Jimmy Cliff, he became a living legend out of it because he was alive. But they
Yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't do the second movie for him because it made him too
no,
famous, and they didn't want to make him famous anymore.
yeah.
Mm.
They
Well,
didn't.
you know
They
what?
didn't feel like he was so good.
They
So
done their thing, and you're doing a good thing today. So you know what I mean. Respect to that. You know.
no, yeah. As I
I
said,
better
it's
get off here. You know what I
important.
mean? Because you know I could talk more than you, so I better get off of here.
All right.
You know.
See you later. Put back DJ
DJ
Cat.
Cat,
Bless
big
you.
up, young lady. Big up, big up, big up. I will follow your station. I've never heard of it. I've never heard about your station before, but I'll follow it definitely.
Blessings. I appreciate that. Thank
You
you.
do play music,
I
yeah?
do, yes.
Okay, okay. I need a proper DJ because some of them guys they don't DJ proper for me, though.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Start a
I
war.
don't, I don't get off with this thing. I don't get off with this thing.
I'll
Say,
get
I'll
you
see you
up.
tomorrow.
Okay, okay.
Take care.
You too. I don't get off.
You have to press. I don't know. DJ
I
Cat.
put DJ.
You
I'll
have
get
to.
you up. I'll get you up. I'll get you up.
All right.
There you go. He gone. He gone.
You know, that's
Gosh.
all the people we struggle with technology.
Okay, big up Under the Bridge Promotions. Big up yourself.
Oh, yes, yes.
They're
I saw that under the bridge promotion.
Yeah, big up yourself. Nice one, blessings. So, you know, we come to that bit where I always ask, what would you like to say to your listeners, your supporters, your fans? What would you like to say to them as some final words from the interview?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is thank you,
Bless
because I could not be who I am without you. You know what I mean? There's many people who've bought my records and I don't know you. And we don't normally get the chance to say thank you. So that's why anytime I have the opportunity to do an interview or perform live, it's the only way I'm able to say thank you very much. So big love to all of my listeners, everyone who's bought a record, everyone who's even just any form of support, as little as it is. I just have to say thank you very much. And I am extremely honored to have interest in me. And it's a beautiful thing. And for that reason, I will always be truthful and honest to every single one of my listeners, people who like our music, and we will always do our music with truth and with right and with honesty. So I thank you all for the support.
100%.
And understand your support comes in so many different ways. Even if you just listen to our music on Spotify, it doesn't matter how you listen to our music on internet, you know what I mean, or you might have bought it, you've managed me to still, in my 50 odd years in this music industry, to still continue. We have over 50 odd thousand listeners every month listening to our music. It's beautiful. And
Yeah.
we just love it. So thank you. And DJ Cat, thank you for even
Anytime.
recognizing us to play our music that's older than you. No,
It's the best music though.
you played the music. I don't know how old you are, but I know the music is older than you. You understand me?
Yeah.
So the fact that you are keeping us going, no, big up every time, DJ Cat, big love all the time.
Anytime. So I want to say thank you to you and all of your band members, everybody that's involved with what you do as well. Because without you, the artists, players of instruments, there would be no music. So we do appreciate you as DJs, as selectors, because we're all connected. And I want to say thank you. Definitely have to say thank you.
Well, thank you for your blessings. So that thank you is like a blessing. It's priceless.
100%. And just to give you some perspective, I was born in 93.
Exactly. And that record was made in 78, right?
Oh, gosh.
So the fact that I can relate to you, praise the Lord.
Amen. Every time. Yeah, man. It's been a blessing.
Beautiful.
And I'm sure
No,
it's been a blessing.
that's absolutely beautiful for me.
So yeah, thank you very much.
Anytime. You're always welcome. You know, any new records, any new tunes you want to release, or you want to share anything with me, please do. I'll put it on my
No,
website and things like that. You've always got
I
my
will.
support.
We've got a brand new album coming out. It's called 50 Plus, and
Yeah.
and I will be sending you everything. Realization, what you're gonna do, Time to Rise is on it.
Yeah.
There's a portion of songs on it, and we've actually remade Freedom Time with my son singing it, Amigo with my son singing it, and Live a Life with my son singing it.
Nice.
So we've actually re-recorded our classics with his voice on it. So
Nice. Big
you will
up to him.
definitely be getting them.
Yeah, man. I like that. I'll be playing them 100%.
Okay.
For real.
Well, I'll be getting them to you.
Okay.
And we mustn't forget King Natty for making this possible, because
Yeah.
he's been working with me now for a month, and King Natty is based in Kenya, and it's
Yeah.
taken him to create this connection right here in London. Can you believe it?
I
So
know.
the universe is beautiful,
100%.
and
100%.
we have to just give praises to the Most High for making this connection happen, because in the normal, you understand, we're based in the same country and we can't connect, but we're allowing people from outside, and it's all in the name of reggae music. The love of reggae music is making this happen, and this is out of this world. It's out of this world. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Big up yourself.
Big him up every time. Yeah, yeah. Can't leave him out. Can't leave him out of aim.
100%.
So yes.
Well,
So DJ Cat, big love. Big love.
Anytime.
Big love.
You're always welcome. Anybody that you wanna, like I said, push out, anything like that yourself, you're always welcome.
Well, let me ask you, what area are you in? Where in England are you?
Coventry.
Wow. Okay, so you can host the movie in Coventry. I'm going up to Leicester on Wednesday. We're doing a showing of the film in Leicester. We're doing Birmingham. We're going to be doing Manchester, and it looks like we're going to now do Coventry.
That's
because
it.
we have a host to do it in Coventry. So I will talk to you. No problem.
Okay. Yeah, man, I look forward to that. People come out.
No, absolutely. And it's sooner than you think. So I will talk to you about it, and we'll make you, because now we've got all these independent cinemas, from as small as 25 seaters to as big as 500 seaters. So whatever the numbers we're going to get, we're going to do. All right?
All right. Blessings. We'll speak again.
All right. Bless up. Big love all the time. All right.
Same to you. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Bless up. Bless.
Good night. Bye.